Okay, so hey everyone, this is Will from Productions², and we're here this morning to do some work on the bank plugin for a little bit. And I've also been going through the wiki last night, and I realized that I have not kept this up at all. Going back to Digital Devil Saga. Yeah, so I have to go all the way back to Digital Devil Saga and put in all the videos that are still, that still have to go in there, and every project after that. So it's like a whole crap ton of work. I realized that just realized I have to do. So it's kind of freaking annoying. So it's coming in here to modify this to make this more correct, and then I was like, oh, I wonder if all these are actually done or not, and they weren't. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. Anyway, so I have been rendering out the footage for CTCE. I'm currently up to 43 parts. Well, actually 51, but I haven't rendered out 43 to 51 yet. What did I go back for? I wanted to go to renders. Yeah, so I rendered all this out over yesterday and most of yesterday and some of today. All this stuff got rendered out. 43 parts. So I think I'm going to do 10 of these a week. So what'll happen is that we'll do probably 5 on Monday, and then I'll probably do another 5 on Sundays. Or maybe on, let's see, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Monday, Tuesday. That's the problem, trying to set up like some sort of upload pattern during the week. It's almost impossible to do it right. So maybe we could do it on, if we did it on, so Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Did it on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Well, no, we're starting this on Wednesday tomorrow, so it's got to be some sort of combination of that. So I think, yeah, Wednesdays and Sundays will probably be, or could go Wednesdays and Saturdays. It's still a couple days in between. I think Wednesdays and Saturdays will probably work better. So Wednesdays and Saturdays I'll be uploading 5 parts of this. The goal is just to get this uploaded quickly. Though the problem with that is can't do it too fast. I need to actually do the recording for Chrono Cross. Debating whether or not to restart that. Anyway, so that's going, and I'll be working on the thumbnail tonight for Crimson Echo's walkthrough. But for now, let's head over to Sublime Text. So I figured out what the problem was, or rather how to get rid of this, how to delete these. So what I had to do I didn't have to do it this way, but what I did was I added in a new field for bonds called Bond ID, to store the Bonds ID in it, just because it's so much easier to work with it that way instead of trying to have to save the Bond ID in a variable in the scene stuff and keep track of it instead of just having a Bond ID inside of the bond itself. So that's in there now. We can just use that. So we would have been able to use the delete keyword here, but I wasn't using this correctly. So what you have to do is you have to actually basically call out the entire object and then delete it from the list. So that's all. All this is working now. So you can withdraw and deposit, and it'll increase over time with the interest rate. You can buy a bond and then sell the bond once it matures, and the bond's removed from your list of bonds. Oh, the other reason I did this is because the way I was trying to get the ID wouldn't have worked in some cases if you had multiple of the same type of bond. So I would just go through and find the first bond with that name. Technically, yes, that could work. If you then checked the mature the time passed since the last time if you check the mature time against the current time, okay, checked the current time minus the current time against the purchase date, and if that value is greater than the mature time, then yeah, that would work too. But at the same time, this is much easier to do than that. So that gets removed, and then I also found that the list in the sell bond window wasn't updating properly, so I had to fix that. But it's working now, and everything is properly functioning, and I will show you. Blah, 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 blah. Obviously, I'm still using the hard-coded time value for the bonds, so I can just sell them right away. But once we switch that over to the right code, it should work just as intended. Alright, so we will first deposit some gold. Let's do 4,500. Okay. And then we're going to buy a bond. We'll buy a basic bond 10. We'll buy a basic bond 30. And then one of these CDs. Alright, so now we go to sell bond. So matured. So they're all matured. So we'll go ahead and we'll sell this one first since it's in between the two of them, so you can see how this works. So sell, and it sells it, and we get that money for it. I'm gonna go and buy another 10 now. So now if we sell this 10, what would happen before is that this one would have been sold instead of this one. Now if we sell this one with the new way that it's being, checking them and processing it, it'll sell that one but not the first one. Sell that one. And as you see the bonds numbers going down. And then we have nothing left. So that's all working. I will remove the stock options and information from there. So now the next step is going to be to parameterize the bonds. Because now what we want to do is we want to say, okay, we don't want to have a static list of bonds for every bank. So what we're going to do, well, there's a couple ways you can go about it. You can go about it the way that Yanfly did with the Quest plugin, which is to have a bunch of bank plugin parameters that would have you to be able to use to set up the deposits, or you could probably do it the correct way. Well, it depends, I guess. To me, the correct way would be to have it so that you could add quests and all the quest information through a plugin parameter or a plugin command, instead of having a parameter in the parameters list that has all this stuff in it that you then are limited to because you only have so many open slots in the parameters. Alright. Headphones users have been protected. I had a massive sneeze. So I'm going to close this because we're probably not going to open that. We need to get into this anyway. So we got a couple things we want to parameterize. first of all, we want to parameterize the colors that we're using for some of this. Somewhere there's a color. I think it's on... Actually, we could find it easily by saying change text color. There's the first one. So this is in the buy bond details. So then here's another one. And another one, window deposit. And another one. Okay, so we got all these here now. We need to figure out. So this one seems to be B is invalid. Draw gold. So if you have okay, so if the gold that you're wanting to deposit is more than what you have. All right, so let's see. So plugin description. So that's where the plugin. So just param, the param name, description, and the default value. All right. So at param. So invalid gold. Description. I think it's desk. Yeah, desk. Sets the text color gold counter when the player when it is higher than the amount of gold the player has. And the default value will be this color. Does that have to be in quotes? No, it doesn't. Alright. So the only one that's red-ish is this one, which is the mature time. Everything else is this A, E, O, C, O, C color. Whatever the hell that is. So default is this. Alright, so next color is what? So draw gold. So actually we could use that for both. So we don't need to have two for withdrawal, one for withdrawal, and one for deposit. So deposit, withdraw. So buy bond details. So this is the one for so if the player cannot buy it, it's same color. Okay. And actually, we could just use that as well for that too, because that's the exact same thing as what it would be. It's invalid gold. So when if the gold, if we don't have enough gold, that's the color it's going to be used. So we could use it there. We could use it there. We could use it there. We could use it on the next one. Or I guess no, it's just not the next one. It's this one. So this is the mature time. So bond not matured, or immature bond color, I guess. And param. So at disk sets the color, text color to be used to highlight bonds. Okay. I think those are the only parameters we need. Everything else will be a plugin command. Okay. So now we need to add those in. So let's grab a couple of these and modify what we need. So I actually need just two. So gold invalid, or G invalid color, I guess we'll call it. And then B immature color. So invalid gold color and immature bond color. All right. Alright, so those are all done. Now, we need to go about figuring out how we could do this for the bond details, because there's a couple things we need. The ID, the name, the cost, mature value, mature time, purchase date, and then the help text. So there's quite a few things that we have to store and figure out how to actually import correctly. Like, for example, the strings. If we look at how the code works for pulling in plugging commands in, processing them right now. I can find out where the hell it's at. There we go. So, you have the initial thing command, and then you have the arguments. Now, on the arguments, we need to figure out how to, well, let's see. What I would like to do with this is like be able to just parse it out with like how we did here, but at the same time, how do we account for a string of strings, or string of characters? Because how this is going is it's looking for bank open, then a space, then a number, then another space, and a number. In a string, we're going to have all kinds of spaces, obviously. So we need to figure out if we need to, in the command, add single quotes around the strings or what. And then how to actually process those through a regex match. So, let me save this. We'll go to our plugin. So, turn off. I think this is enough to get the plugin. Yeah. So we got our mature bond and color and things. Okay, that's good. So, we have our bank here. But first what we want to do is we want to call, and here's the other thing now. So we'll need to have a new, we'll have to have a new element in the banks to track what bonds are available and all the bond information that you can buy from. Not just what you have stored, but what you are able to buy. So we'll have to have bonds, then this dot underscore banks BID bonds, or bond info, I guess. So obviously we need the BID. We need the, well, first bank ID. So we need the bond name. We need the bond cost. We need the mature value. So mature cost. Or no, yeah, bond mature value. And value. We need the time, mature time. We need, and then we need the help text. So there, bank equals this dot get bank being KID. Her bank bond info BI ID equals an object. Bane. I'm gonna put Bane in here to venom up the plugin or something, I guess. BND name. B cost. BND cost. Sure val u. Assured value. Okay, so that's the code to add the bond info. Now we just need to figure out how to get the bond info in here. So, obviously it's going to have to be a parameter call. We're going to need to have the bank. Obviously, we'll say bank. Instead of bank open, it'll just be bank. So bank opener bank. So bank add bond, and then all the information. So this would go after or before we open the bank proper. So bank, the bank ID, which is 0, or bank add. Maybe bank 0. So bank ID, add bond. Then we would need the bond ID, bond name, say test bond. The cost 4,000. The mature cost, I'm just going to say 5,000 for now. Mature time 1 hour, and then the help text, which would be this is a test bond. Okay, so now we got a bunch of stuff we have to handle here. Okay, so command match else if so bank space add bank, or add bond, and there'll be a space, and then a decimal, or whatever D stands for in an int or a decimal or something, some sort of value. And then, or wait, yeah, actually no. I have a space, then one of these. Then another space. Then add bond, then the space, then the bond ID, then a space. And then so this is the question here, is how to get a string from this. So if we come over here, let's see. I can use this one. So regex. Grab one of our online regex things here. All right, cool. So first of all, we'll pull in our regex as it stands right now. And then we'll bring in our text that we want to match. So we have that software. So now I want to match so digit, word, white space, not word. So the plus is match one or more of the preceding tokens. So if there's one or more digits following it, okay. So match any character in the set. So then maybe we don't need these then. Or we might, because so we're matching characters up to what? A space? How do we tell it when not to? Match some, maybe like match one space only or something. Anyway, so I'm gonna say A through Z. Let's see. Let's get characters like around flash colors. Groups and references. Shrink group, no. Matches 0 or more of the preceding token. Matches 1 or more. So W plus end, I see. Word boundary. So we're getting to there. We want to go. I want to get all of this. So all right. Regex match string. Let's see. SDF. Trying to match like ABC. Getting the word stop followed by space. Stop dot tag. So W is word. Matches any word character alphanumeric underscore only matches low ASCII characters, no accented or non-Roman characters, equivalent to this. For example, Jean Monfray. Oh, there we go. Yeah, there we go. Problem is, it gets just the first one. So if we put these back into quotations, let me check the what did we use here for that? Or was it here? No, it wasn't here. Where did I use that at? Crap. So there was something that I worked on while streaming where we were trying to do regex to Was it the Arathena? Database editor? Might have been. Yeah, it was, because we had to parse through stuff. Okay. So it would be in the import, which is in the item and mob CS. Okay, so the character you want to match, star, and then what you want to... and the character to end it with. Okay. So, let's see. So we have this. And the character to end it with. That didn't seem to work though. Capturing group. Okay, so we want to do yeah, I want to do a string capture group. That's what I want to do. Regex string capture group. So okay. This group on the left just gets rid multiple times, but rejects. So I think just to define a capture group, you just use parentheses in it, apparently. So what we need to do is we need to build some sort of capture group. Alright, so let's bring this back up. So carrot, or rather, well, carrot or however you want to say it. I just call it a carrot. Carrots, quotation, close brackets, then star, and then the last character. So Oh, okay. So I guess it's as simple as that. Probably not, but... Then another decimal. Another space. Then another decimal. And another space. And then another decimal. Because we love decimals, apparently. And then another space. And then another one of these things. So... Now, see, here's the thing, though. We can't really do it this way because... I need to take this part off because I want to see what we actually match here. Okay, so that goes to the very end. That shouldn't happen. Because there's one down here. So dot, star, space. Okay, so that does the first group. Good. Then I'll grab the first group then. But again, see, that's still a problem because it relies on there being a space here. What if there can be any number of spaces between these? And there can be any number of words between them, too. So we need something to match only the next one. So dot is matches any character except line breaks equivalent to NR. So dot. So this dot, this plus dot, plus. No, because that matches everything then. We need to set some sort of limits. So again, here's the problem. It matches all the way up to the next one. When we only want to match up to here. Again, the problem is how do we then limit that? Error. Matches a word boundary position between a word and non-word position. String, blah blah. So matches one or more preceding. Okay. So maybe. So matches the specified quantity of the previous token. Will match 1 to 3. 3 will match exactly 3. Will match 3 or more. Optional, lazy. Or no, plus. Doesn't like that. So any number of characters to another word with this. Oh, that might work. So it should end with a word. Okay, let's try that. Okay. Let's see what this does. So, Just want to see if these are getting pulled out correctly or if it's going to work correctly or not. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So just to make sure, so this is bank ID. This is bond ID. This is bond name. This is the cost. Okay. So, let's have a look and see if this works or not. So first of all, let's go to sources and throw in some breakpoints on our 8 breakpoints, I guess, down here. Also throw in here to make sure we're actually hitting it or not. Okay, so we're there. Cool, it's matched. But then we got a regex not defined error. Regex P. Well, it got in there though, so it matched. The regex expression matched, which is interesting. Oh, cool! This is awesome. It actually shows you in the Did they add this in, or is this just Chrome's thing that's working now because I couldn't get the F8 one to work? This is this is nice, having these here instead of having to do watches. No, yeah, it's working. Awesome. These have double things on them, which is annoying, but it's working. So one has to wonder then, if we took out would it still work if we took out these quotations? Save that, and then we go, well, let's close this, so close that, come back over here, do the same thing here, blah. Test bond, that's okay, apply, okay, save. Nice thing about this is that it saves the breakpoints too. This console is light years better than the one that originally came with this. I don't know if it's they updated the console or if this is I think this is Chrome's console. I don't think it's this one or something. I don't know what's really going on with it. But if they updated it to this, that's awesome because this console is awesome. Yeah, it still works. Cool. And now we only have one of those on there. These are getting set to... Oh, these are being pulled out as strings too, which is interesting. Or maybe not. Maybe they're just showing up with quotations because that's what they are. That's how they're displayed there. Nope, it's definitely got quotations. So, I always wonder why JavaScript doesn't have proper types. Or at least, let me see. JavaScript. JavaScript defining it. So would we... Okay, well, the thing... Let's see. So it's pulled out as a string. So it's looking at it as a string. So we'll need to do a parse int on those turned to ints, I guess. So, that's interesting. That means that this up here... Oh no, we are parsing in it. Never mind. That's what we're doing there. Yeah. Parse int. So most of these are actually going to be ints. Cool. There was a time when I would not have been able to build that regex. So that's awesome. Working on the regex for the Athena thing really helped me kind of understand how it works. Obviously, it won't have any... Okay, now we got a problem over here. Unexpected exception. Unexpected identifier. Parse int regex dot. Oh, int. I still have to this int. It should be fair. Right. So yeah, now we got int 00 test bond, int 1 test bond. Cool. So now what we can do is we can take this and load it into that object that we created earlier. But for now, it's going to be it. Thanks for watching the stream. For watching on YouTube afterwards, feel free to leave any comments or questions below. And if you haven't done so already, I would appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel. And I will see you next time, which will probably be... It might be tonight. Oh, maybe not tonight, because I have to do the thumbnail template for Crimson Echoes walkthrough. So probably tomorrow morning we'll get back into this and finish up the code to translate all this into the object and then read the objects into the window to fill in the information for the bonds. So we can have a dynamic list of bonds in each bank that way. But until then, I will see you later.